Salutations. Coming to you from the Slattery Ranch with P-Max, Peter Maxwell Slattery, and Corey Good. It's the first time I've met Corey. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. And what we're here to talk about is black extraterrestrials. I've gotten asked a lot of questions. Okay, I just met Corey. I feel Archon energy, and he just talked about a bunch of stuff with me. I think he's definitely the real deal, so we're done with that. Definitely, I don't want to be asked about that, all right? What he has agreed to talk with me about is black extraterrestrials. I've done 2 videos on this already, all right? This man has a lot of information I have not heard, and I would like for him to have a chance to actually speak about it. He's agreed to do that. P-Max is gonna, or Peter here is gonna talk about the Pleiadian, and also how we have black Pleiadians, melanin dominant Pleiadians, and how the Aboriginals have talked about that and have relics and things of that nature. So this is a chance. What I'm doing this for is I wanted the cultures to start to come together. You're seeing this right here. You got somebody from a different country, another race, a melanin recessive, whatever wants to say, and a melanin dominant. Come on, this is cool. This is what it's all about. All right, I'm going to start off with kind of talking about some of the information I know about the locations where black and melanin dominant extraterrestrials or ethnic extraterrestrials originate at. One of them, okay, is going to be the constellation Centaurus. All right, another one is Andromedan Galaxy. Another one's going to be Vega. And in Vega, I understand you have a lot of also Polynesian types and Asian type of civilizations there. And also you've got the Triangulum Galaxy. I did a whole separate video on that based on, I think that was a cycle type 1 civilization on Earth before what we're hearing about historically now. And Triangulum, Andromeda, and the Milky Way will all collide one day. So I think that's saying something there. So that's going back a little bit and it's giving us a preference for what some of these races are coming from. And I'll go ahead and turn this over now to Corey and let him say, because what he told me earlier really blew me away and it was very cool.
Well, you know, and we're not just talking about black extraterrestrials. We're talking about a whole range. There are as many different colors, there are many more different types of beings, human like us beings, out there in our local 52 star cluster. If you go to Google and you look up our local star cluster, you'll see there are about 52 stars, and we're pretty much in the center of that, which makes us in a very coveted area. It has to do with major stargates where you can travel from galaxy to galaxy being there. So it's a very coveted area. So negative ETs have come in for a long time to control the beings and that mega gate. So there's, out of all of those 52 star systems, there's only one group that was never taken over, and it was a group of tall African Zulu looking people, and they developed far beyond. They were the first ones to travel from planet to planet, but the thing, they developed a spiritual shamanism type technology. They used crystals and other types of stones and even plants and stuff to focus their abilities. We talked earlier about how we've discovered that we're held together, our atoms and electrons, and they're all held together by many black holes. And those black holes are what hold us all together, and what pretty much holds everything in matter and reality together. And these beings learned how to collapse themselves into these little black holes and teleport through what we call the cosmic web, and teleport to other locations. So they were going to other planets, setting up commerce and trade with, they never taken over by the reptilians, a very strong psychic group, a very negative group, is because they had developed themselves spiritually and psychically to a point to where the Draco would come in to their star system and they would cause confusion, mental confusion among the Draco, which is a major feat because they are a higher density group of beings that have very strong consciousness and abilities with telepathy. But they would overcome these groups, make them attack each other, many different methods like that. That was more of their method of warfare. But because of those abilities, they were never taken over. That was the only star in the local 52 stars cluster.
And the 52 stars, so could you explain that a little bit, and kind of,
Yeah.
and also maybe what the height of these particular beings were?
Yes, I'll describe them a little bit. Anywhere from 6.5 to 8 feet tall, and some have been described as taller, and look African. Their eyes are just a little bit bigger, and some of them have been described with caramel-colored hair, but all of the ones that I had seen, it was short hair, and they were very tall and skinny, and they interact with a lot of shamans here on our planet, or also spiritual types of people. They'll interact with, like, when someone's having a really hard time, they may have a weird dream to where this tall African-looking person, and like feathers on the head, things around the wrist with long wispy grass, dancing these real wild dances to where, like, they're doing like this weird figure 8, and they're stomping of feet and clapping of hands, and all this really, but it's really a crazy dance. But something happens energetically, emotionally. They're able to, if someone has entity attachments, which was a situation I ran into, they're able to remove them by just doing this dance. They don't say a word, and they have the ability to, when people are having a hard time spiritually, emotionally, they're able to do that dance, and people wake up and they feel refreshed, and they're able to go about the mission that they were stumbling in.
I had heard before about a race of from the black mantids, that these hybrids, that the brothers, they have a extra joint here and in the leg, and maybe their neck is slightly different and have the triangles, and that they actually, their way of saying hello upon first meeting them is some type of a fluid dance that's very hard for humans to mimic. And that's just, I wonder if there's a connection there.
I don't know. I don't know. That's interesting. But the fact, I don't know if anyone in your audience has had a dream like this, but after I started talking about this publicly, which I've been talking about it for a couple of years now, it just really hasn't gotten out there. Because I don't think people, if you hear about a human type alien, people want to hear about a 8 foot tall, blue eyed, blonde haired, and angel, kind of being, to go along with their belief system. That, I think, one of the biggest issues. I was shown that apparently there's going to be some sort of solar event that's going to cause the downfall of technological civilization. And after that occurs, they call themselves our cosmic cousins. All of these different ETs, including the African-looking race I told you about, they are all going to fill the skies and come and assist us. I mean, how shocking is it going to be for everyone when they're standing there, the doors open, they're about to drop these little food with parachutes, and they look up and they don't see a blonde-haired, blue-eyed angel. They see a bunch of people of different, brown skin, different skin,
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going to be prepared for that.
Yeah. Well, that's fascinating. It's fascinating. Thank you for sharing.